start my own jewelry business and I have no idea what I'm doing, so I decided to document my entire journey. A lot of you guys have reached out to me to help me, to guide me, to give me inspiration, and I appreciate it so much. One of my main concerns is finding high quality jewelry. From my understanding, there is an array of jewelry businesses. Some jewelry businesses buy from a wholesaler or a vendor and then sell that jewelry in their jewelry line. That particular jewelry is mass produced. They had no part in designing that jewelry. That jewelry was just mass produced, and then they are selling that in their business. And there is handmade and handcrafted. Handmade is made by one individual person. Handcrafted is designed but made by multiple different people. I have also learned that people protect their wholesale and vendor list with their life. One of my main questions was, how do you create a piece of jewelry? How are you in the design process? And that would be casting. So I searched in my area wholesale jewelry, and I also searched up casting jewelry, and I found answers to both my questions. There's a wholesale jewelry place like 20 minutes away from my house, so I'll be going there today. And then I'm also going to contact the casting jewelry place to see if I'm able to bring the idea I have to life. Thank you for all your help, and I really appreciate it. And if you want to follow along this journey, please feel free to hit the follow button and we'll go on this journey together.
Welcome to part 1 of my beginner's guide to jewelry making. You guys have been asking me so much about what tools I use and the kind of beads that I use and everything like that, and so this series is going to be a full in-depth overview of everything to do with jewelry making, starting with tools because that has been the most requested. So the first thing that you'll need is some flathead pliers. These are really useful for bending wire at sharp angles, and then you will also need a pair of roundhead pliers. So these ones are good for bending wire at like more of curved angles and making loops and that kind of thing. Even if you aren't planning on using wire in your jewelry very much, you will still need 2 pairs of pliers for using jump rings, which you will pretty much definitely need to use at some point if you are going to be getting into jewelry properly. So you'll need 2 pairs of pliers so that you can hold on to one and use the other to pull it open and shut again like this. And the third pair of pliers that you will need is some wire cutters, which obviously in the name are used to cut wire. But again, aside from actual wire, you will also need these for cutting beading wire. There are other types of thread that you can use instead of beading wire that don't require wire cutters, so these aren't necessarily essential, but this is the strongest. I'll go through the other types in the next video. Each pair of pliers you can get for around £5 from Amazon or from any craft shop, but if you want to save a little bit of money, you can also get one of these multi-tool kind of pairs of pliers. So as you can see with this pair that I've got here, it has a section that is a roundhead plier, a flathead plier, and then the very bottom of it is a wire cutter. So you can replace one of the pairs of pliers with something like this, but as long as you've got at least 2 pairs of pliers to open jump rings and you've got some form of wire cutter, then you're pretty much good to go. Now moving on to the less essential but still useful tools. The first one up is the one-step looper. I love this thing. Obviously, as it says in the name, it is used to make loops in your wire so that you can make eye pins, which you can then thread your beads onto, loop the other side, and then connect them all together with jump rings to make bracelets, necklaces, anything like that. Which, if this is like the main type of jewelry that you're wanting to make in this style, then I would definitely recommend it, but it is a bit more of an investment. This is about £30, so you can just use roundhead pliers for this instead. It's just a little bit more time consuming and takes a bit of practice. Next up is embroidery scissors. So obviously before I said instead of beading wire, there are other options, one of them being stretchy thread like this, which you don't need wire cutters for. You can get away with regular scissors for this, but embroidery scissors are a little bit more precise, so I would say if you're mainly going to be using this type of string, it's worth investing in because they're also pretty cheap. The next tool is a hole punch, which if you are wanting to make shrink plastic charms like these, then you'll definitely need one of these. I recommend a 1-hole punch because obviously it's a lot more precise, and then once the plastic shrinks down, it will be the perfect size to fit a jump ring through it like this, which I can make a whole other episode on shrink plastic charms. If you guys want to see that, let me know. The next tool is a bead spinner. If you watch my Fate Make series, then you've seen this a lot recently. This is a super useful tool if you wanted to make things like this, and along with it you will also need a curved needle. Your bead spinner should come with a couple of them, but I would also recommend getting a spare pack anyway because they tend to get lost or bent really easily. There are different options of like thicknesses when it comes to this. I would recommend getting the thinner ones, especially if you're using small beads like these, because although the thicker needles are a lot easier to hold and maneuver, they will get clogged really easily. Like a lot of beads will be too small to go over them, and so you'll just end up unblocking it a bunch of times. And obviously the point of the bead spinner is that it's supposed to save you time, and so this is just not really worth it for that. If you're using bigger beads that have bigger holes, then you should be alright, but in general I would just recommend getting the thinner ones, even though they are a bit more fiddly. And then the final tool that you may need is super glue if you're going to be making rings or earrings using bases like these, and I would recommend investing in a good quality super glue just to make sure your pieces last. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this new series, and let me know what you want to see in future episodes.
I have been getting so many questions on how I started my jewelry business, and I wanted to share that with you guys in case you're planning on starting yours too. The first thing you want to do is go on Google and do some research on the different types of materials there is and which one you want to sell and who you want to sell it to. It is very important that you know who your audience is and who you want to sell to, and once you come up with that, then you have to come up with a name for your jewelry business. Once you've came up with the name, then it's time to start your social media for your business, which is Instagram, TikTok, and literally anything that you can think of. After you have created your name, then comes the fun part. I started my business with $500, but you can start yours off with half of that, which can be $250. That just depends on you and how much material you want to start selling. But one advice I can give you is to not buy a lot of jewelry and do not buy a lot of material, because you don't really know if you're going to get a lot of sales in the beginning. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, where do you search for vendors and where do you get your jewelry from? Well, the answer is Google and Alibaba.com. Those are probably the best for finding your vendors. Searching for vendors is a whole video on itself. If you guys want me to do one of those, please let me know and I will be more than happy to do it for you guys. And then once you find some vendors, you have to order some samples. Once you like your samples, then you're ready to start selling, and you can start selling anywhere from Shopify, Etsy, or even Instagram. The last step is just to create content for your small business and just have fun with it. I hope this video helped.
If you're thinking about starting your own jewelry business and you are looking for supplies, you can make jewelry like this and this. I'm going to run you through some supplies that I've personally used as someone that's had their own jewelry business for 6 years, and the things that you need to be looking out for when looking for a new supplier. So first up, we have this supplier of stainless steel gold plated jewelry. Now, when it comes to stainless steel jewelry, you're going to find that most people are using a method called PVD plating, which is a method of plating which is very long lasting. It uses heat to ensure that the gold will last a very long time. It's water resistant. However, the problem with stainless steel is that it is a very hard metal. Therefore, you're going to find that you're not going to be able to get as much detail in the piece as if you were using a softer metal such as brass. So stainless steel jewelry is always a great option. Always look for PVD plating if you are really concerned about the longevity of the gold. However, just bear that in mind. So as you can see, this supplier has really nice pieces like rings and some really nice necklace styles actually with some enamel, which I love. And as you can see, they have a really low MOQ, so you can order as little as 6 pieces with some styles. Like I said, they have a variety of lots of different categories, and they've been in business 15 years. And I've actually ordered from these people myself, and I can 100% vouch for the quality and the service. And they are called Dongguan Minos Stainless Steel Jewelry. I don't know if I've pronounced that right, but you can see the name of the factory at the top there. Now, next up, if you were looking to do something in silver and something that was maybe a bit more contemporary, a bit more Y2K-ish, then we have this supply here. Now, as you can see here, it says that they are brass platinum plated. So this is a brass-based jewelry company, and when it comes to brass, they're going to be using a different plating method. Now, this is called water plating or electroplating, and with this you want to be checking how many microns of the precious metal that they're going to be using. In this case it's platinum, but often it's gold or rhodium. So yeah, if it is brass based, then you want to be asking how many microns they're using. Usually for costume jewelry, you're looking at around 0.5 microns. You know, you can go up to around 2.5 microns for like a really nice piece. That's usually called vermeil when they use that much gold. But it does obviously increase the price if you're the more gold you're using or the more precious metal that you're using, because it's precious. So again, that's just something to bear in mind when talking to new suppliers. This company has really, really nice pieces actually, like really unique. And the unit cost is a bit higher. As you can see, you're looking at around $7 to $9, but you can again order very low minimums. And the company is called JEWERY YSCQ Import and Export. All of this kind of jewelry that you're seeing on Instagram, these are the kind of factories that they're getting it from. So if that's the kind of lane that you're trying to go down, then these are factories that you need to hit up. Both factories offer OEM and ODM, which means that they can produce custom designs. But again, depending on what base metal you're trying to use, you obviously, if you're looking to use stainless steel as a base metal, this would be a great factory to do your custom designs in. And if you were looking for brass, then obviously the other factory, because they make brass. But again, these are just things that you need to find out, like what kind of base metals do these factories specialize in. That's going to inform a lot of your decision. Factories like this, when you're first starting to buy wholesale in small quantities, is a great way to get started when you don't have a lot of capital to fund large orders. So this is exactly how I started doing wholesale. So if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments, or if there's anything else you want to know about the whole jewelry, manufacturing, starting your own business, jewelry business, leave it in the comments.
Let me just start off by saying I was not recording this for TikTok, but I was like, you know what, I'm finna post this on TikTok because the girls deserve to know. Where else are you going to find cute gold jewelry for the price of $2? Yes, wholesale prices open to the public. Now, everything is not $2, but these prices are certainly unbeatable, y'all. $3, $4, $5, $6. I think the most expensive item in the store is probably $23, which is like the little bling bling necklace that I bought. I'm about to have a Y2K yacht party for the 4th of July, so I needed to get my jewelry up. And honestly, I used to be like a real gold jewelry connoisseur, but the way I be losing jewelry, I wouldn't dare go to the Slauson and spend thousands of dollars on jewelry that I know I'm gonna lose, break, or misplace. Anywho, you can find this gold jewelry store in the Santee Alley in Los Angeles, downtown LA. The owner was oh so nice. She even gave me a free anklet because I bought so much stuff. I think I spent $63 on like bangles, studs, bracelets, earrings, rings, necklaces.
If I owned a jewelry business, this is what I would post on social media this month. My name is Haley. I own a digital marketing company called Social Spark, and this is If I Ran Your Biz, a series where I give real social media strategies for real small businesses. You might know how to take these hand model photos or even do a styled shoot, but here's how you're going to take it a step further. Obviously, the social media strategy is going to be different for a high-end jeweler than maybe someone smaller or who makes their own jewelry. So first, let's talk about the small local jeweler, and you guys can let me know if you want the other approach next time. All right, you can't compete with the big box stores in price, so you need to show the story and sentiment. We're going to talk about the emotional connection, lifestyle association, and how to establish yourself being the artist. Tell the backstory of your pieces over a video, especially for custom pieces like this ring was made for a mom of 3 and it's a ring with 3 different birthstones in it. If you don't do customs, still tell fictional or real stories as if the piece had a life. Position it like this bracelet could talk. Next, target gift givers. I'm talking the boyfriends and the husbands. Don't buy jewelry just to buy jewelry. A series where you teach people how to buy jewelry or what to shop for by using hooks like this. Next is my personal favorite, an easy graphic that you call jewelry that feels just like you. This is where you're going to position your product directly to your target audience. You're going to give your product a personality and pair each piece with a little character bio. Highlight a specific product to a hyper-specific customer profile. Last, I do still think that flat lays or styled shoots are important lifestyle content when done correctly. Do flat lays with real-life objects to show jewelry in context, and when they're styled on hands, neck, or wrists, position them where they'll resonate with your audience. That's all for now. Follow for more social media strategies and comment what you want to see next.
This is how I started my business. Hey, I'm Vanessa, I'm 28 years old, and I'm the owner of Vanika Jewelry, a small business. And if you like to support small businesses, I'd be so happy and grateful for your support. So it all started back in 2020. I just lost my job in retail during the first lockdown and couldn't find a new job because of the pandemic and lockdown and everything what was going on at that time. So I was basically unemployed for quite some time and felt miserable. Since I always believed that everything happens for a reason, I chose to finally go after my dreams and start my own little business. With round about 2,000 euros, I went all in, invested in inventory, packaging, and a website and stuff, and slowly but surely built my empire.